the impact that he had in society. You look at Mike Tyson, strong people, no one I can think of in popular culture today. This man was the man. And he was the leader of Bani Hanif. What he used to do was he used to terrorize his community. Anyone from his tribe that accepted Islam, he would tell everybody to come out, tie him up to 4 horses, each limb, make the horses run off in all directions. Take off his extremities, all 4 of them. And then he would pull his body and drag his body over burning coals until he died. And everybody had to watch. And you better come, because he would take names. And if you didn't come, you better have an excuse, because he'll do you the same way. He wanted people not to accept Islam. And it worked. His people didn't accept Islam. They were scared of that man. He was a criminal, like some of the criminals of today, from the Muslims and non-Muslims. The Muslim parents are not really practicing, or they don't know much about Islam, and the child is learning Islam, and they give him a hard time. They don't want him to practice. But anyway, this is the point. This man, Thumama, went one day to perform Umrah in Jahiliyyah as a kafir. He went to perform Umrah as a kafir because they believed in Allah. They used to go and make tawaf around the Kaaba, all that stuff. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in Medina at that time. And it was from his sunnah is that he would send young men and tell them, go out to the outskirts of Medina and protect the city. Be lookouts, which is the dalil and the proof that we have to tie our camels and we have to take precautions and you have to put your seatbelt on. And when you're going to marry your sister, for an example, she's going to marry a man and they have a background of Jahiliyyah, you should go get tested. Don't throw caution to the wind. The Muslim is the person who he takes precautions and doesn't say, I'm going to rely on Allah, and he throws caution to the wind. That's not our religion. Rasulullah said, you, go on the outskirts. Any possible threat, you deal with it. That was their job, and that's jihad, fi sabilillah. So when Thumama was traveling, Rasulullah's regiment that was out there, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, saw him and they caught him on his way to Mecca. They tied him up and they brought him to Al-Medina. When they started coming with him, Rasulullah saw this situation. He said to the companions outside, do you know who you have there? They said, Allah and his messenger know best. He said, that's Thumama ibn Uthal, the leader of Bani Hanif. He was notorious for his terrorist activities. So every companion was like, whoa, Thumama. Like we hit the jackpot. Like, this is, we gonna get him now. All of what he did, Rasulullah told the people, take him and tie him up in the pillar of the Masjid. He could have took him to someone's house. He could have took him somewhere else. He said, take him and tie him up to the pillar of the Masjid. They tied him up. Well-known hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went home, told his family, prepare something for Thumama. All they had was goat's milk. That's it. He went to the Masjid sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Thumama, Kayfa ajiduka? What do you have to say for yourself now, Thumama? All of what you were doing before. You the big man before. What you got to say for yourself? Listen to his answer. He said, Ya Muhammad. Disrespect. Ya Muhammad. Arrogantly. In taqtulni taqtul dha damin. If you kill me, you would have killed someone who was important. And if you let me go, you'll let me go and I'll be grateful, thankful. And if you want to ransom me, salma bada laka tu'ta. As for any amount, I'll give it to you. Without saying another word, the Prophet left him. And he said to the companions, fi Thumama. Someone brought him the milk, and Thumama drink and get mad at no. But the adhan and the mu'adhin, there's an ikhtilaf between the scholars. Who gets the most reward? The imam who's praying or the mu'adhin? And you know that the majority of the scholars say that the mu'adhin gets more reward than the imam who's praying. When you pray, the imam gets your salah, he gets the reward for praying with the people, reading the Quran, all of that. But the mu'adhin, his neck will be longer, yawm qiyamah. Every insect, bird, human, jinn, everything, tree, rock that hears his voice about Allahu Akbar, it's going to come and bear witness for him yawm qiyamah. Anyway, that's not the point. Bilal was getting the adhan from outside. In my masjid, we're not going to tell our mu'adhin get on it. We're not going to tell him that. asked, whatever your price is. He didn't say another word. He didn't tell him the 5 arkan of Islam, the 6 arkan of Iman. He didn't tell him any of that. Who Allah, he didn't tell him any of that. He said, Fi Thumama. They brought him the milk. He drank it, they saw how quick it, they gave him another one, another number, 7. He left him there all day, and Thumama is looking at you, the companions. The 3rd day, what's your situation, Thumama? Like I told you, Muhammad, 2 days I told you the same thing. And he told him. Rasulullah said, untie Thumama and let him go. Now listen to this. Thumama was responsible for killing some of the companions. He killed some of Rasulullah's companions from Thumama's tribe and other companions who were traveling in that area. He caught them and killed them. So he's a man who has a bounty on his head. Rasulullah said, let him go. They untied them. Thumama started walking out of the masjid. What about the relatives who were killed by Thumama? You know, in Jahiliyyah, revenge. I got a chance to watch CNN today. I was watching things where this guy killed a man who killed his mother. Later on in that day, he stabbed that man to death the other day in America. Revenge. I don't care if I'm going to jail. You killed my relative, we're going to kill you. When Thumama was walking out, those companions who Thumama killed their relatives, not one of them said, why you letting them go, Ya Rasulullah? Not one of them took the situation in his own hands. No, because Rasulullah said, let them go. And when he told them to do something and it went against their culture, went against their desire, went against what they thought, they took what they thought, their culture, and threw it against the wall, and they obeyed them. Thumama left. The companions continued to do what they was doing. After some time, Thumama came back into the masjid. His beard was dripping water. You can see he was wet. His beard was dripping water. Thumama was a kafir and he had a beard. Quraysh did not take off their beards. I'm not fighting you. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just telling you the facts. Not until Africans, not until Muslims started mixing and we were colonized by Europeans did we start doing a lot of these things. Being, professional is like you like this. One of the signs of manliness is to have a beard. And that's why Aisha, when you swear, you can say, Wallahi, Billahi, Tallahi, Aymullahi. You can say a lot of things. Aisha used to say, Wallahi zayyana ar-rijal binihahum. I swear by the one who beautified men by giving them beards. I'm not putting anybody down. Just food for thought. Did you ever see a Viking? Clean shaven? Did you ever see that? They always project manliness, the alpha male, as a man who has a beard. Scare me, man. Sheikh Ismail. He came walking. He was wet. Everybody just watched him. He came to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Ya Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah. There was never a religion I hated more than your religion, and now your religion is the most beloved religion to me. Ya Rasulullah. There was never a face that I hated more than your face, now your face is the most beloved face to me. Ya Rasulullah. There was never a city that I hated more than your city, now your city is the most beloved city to me. He says, sit down now. Bring some food for them now. They brought a bowl of milk. Rasulullah gave the milk to Thumama. Thumama said, Bismillah, and sipped it. and gave it back to the Nabi. Rasulullah smiled. Anytime the companions, as I've been saying, they saw any subtle movement from him, they would ask. They said, Ya Rasulullah, why are you smiling? He said, because the kafir, or the kafir, they eat to fill up 7 intestines. They overeat. But the believer eats for 1 intestine. The days before that, Umama's understanding his existence, his minhaj was me, myself, and I. So I'm going to drink 7. I don't care about nobody else. But once he becomes a Muslim, he realizes there are other people who are here. There are other people who have a right to share. It's not about you, just you. It's not only about you. There's something you want, something you like, and you insist it has to be that way. If not, you leave the Jama'ah, you leave the Masjid. All of us have to realize it's about what's in the best interest of the institution, of the Jama'ah. That's what the Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Muslimun tatakafu dima'uhum. The Muslims, their blood is equal. So if you can imagine, we are on a boat, a ship, like those big cargo ships out in the Caribbean Ocean. We're all on that ship, all of us. And that ship is sailing and it's about to sink. It's going to sink. Too much cargo, too heavy. We have to lighten the load. Some people say, okay, let's throw the elderly off the boat because they're 70, 80. They don't have any years to live. Allah knows best. Let's throw them off the boat. Someone else says, nah, let's throw the babies off, the youngsters. Let's throw them off because they're forgiven. Can we throw Zayd off the boat? Let's throw. They go straight to Jannah. Others say, no, let's throw the women off the boat. We get another wife, let's throw them off. In Islam, none of that. We all live together or we all sink together. Nobody's blood is more important than the next man here. Nobody. The scholar, he's not like everyone. The elderly is not like everyone, but no one's blood is more important than anyone else's blood here. Arab blood is not more important. Our blood, African, Nigerian, not more important. Indian, no one's blood. But you have Muslims walking around believing their blood is more important. And may Allah have rahmah upon Malcolm X. That's an iconic African-American individual who helped me to come to Islam reading his autobiography. I still remember his story, and he was an extreme racist, as those of you who are in the nation know. Extreme racist. The white man is a devil. That's a real racist. Put aside the the psychology behind that. They put us down. We're going to say, no, you're the devil. We're the Asiatic black man. That's racism. Malcolm X, when he went to Mina, he said, I was in Mina in a tent with all kind of people, white people from Albania, everybody was there. When it was time to go to sleep, he said, people started snoring. He said, at that moment, I realized the universality of Islam, and that you can't tell by the snore of a man, he's white, he's black, he's this, he's that. Everybody's snoring the same way. Everybody's bleeding in the same way. His blood. Sumama, radiallahu anhu, sat down and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I was on my way to perform Umrah when my brothers from your cavalry caught me. Should I continue my Umrah? He said, yes. You should continue. You were kafir and you were meaning to do a good thing. Now you're a Muslim. That same good thing, go ahead and do it. Umar, in Jahiliyyah. He wasn't a Muslim in Jahiliyyah. He made an oath, another. I'm going to make itikaf in Mecca one night as a kafir, not in the month of Ramadan. There's no Ramadan to them. He said, I'm going to make itikaf one night for Allah. And he was a mushrik one night. He became a Muslim. Ya Rasulullah, I took an oath to do ittikaf and jahilina shart and said, fulfill your oath. So when you make oaths to Allah, serious, that's why you shouldn't make oaths. Oh Allah, if you save her, I'll do this, don't do that. But if you do it, you have to go through with it. They gave salams, Thumama parted. When he went to Mecca, the news already preceded him to Mecca that Thumama became a Muslim. That was way back then, over 1400 years ago. No CNN, false propaganda, like now, what they say about people is it preceded him. When he arrived in Mecca, Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, the leaders of Mecca, they stepped to him. Like the society, the powers to be. They put pressure on you. They want to make you scared. See if you're a punk. See if you really believe. See if you're one of those Muslims who just profess. We heard you have changed the religion of your forefathers, our forefathers. So Mama didn't start tap dancing, doing the Bojangles, apologizing. Yes, master. Yes, he didn't do that. As a man, he said, I didn't change anything with my forefathers, Ibrahim and Ismail. I'm on the religion of Muhammad. And wallahi, I won't send you people of Quraysh one grain, not one grain, that I always send you with our agreement. I send you grain from Beni Hanif, you give me money. I'm not gonna send you one grain unless Rasulullah allows me. He was strong. Some of the young people from the Kuffar Quraysh, Ikrimah, Ibn Abi Sufyan, he became a Muslim. His father became a Muslim, but in Jahiliyyah. Some of the young people, like in our Masjid right now, Abdullah, the medic, some of the young people from Quraysh, they saw Thumama going around the Kaaba doing Umrah. They came and they prepared to shoot Thumama. We're not gonna live over our dead body. You think you're going around the Kaaba and put egg in our face? That ain't gonna happen. Those young people went to get him. The elders of the Kuffar of Quraysh stepped in and said, what are you doing? That's Thumama ibn Uthal, the leader of Beni Hanif. If you kill him, Quraysh is done. Beni Hanif is gonna come and deal with us once and for all. That man wasn't a joke, brother. He had a posse. He had a crew that would come down and decimate Quraysh. So he was allowed to make Umrah. Listen, trivia question. Who was the first Muslim to make tawaf around the Kaaba? Thumama ibn Uthal. He did it before Rasulullah. He did it before the companions. He was the first one to do it. Who was the first Muslim woman who died as a shaheeda? Sumayya. Abdul Ghani, Abdul Jalil. Where's the other old head? Abdul Jalil, Abdul Jalil, Abdul Jalil, Abdul Jalil, Abdul Jalil, Abdul Jalil, AJ, Abdul Jalil. Those are trivia questions you ask your children. Those are trivia questions you ask people to learn together. Thumama finished his tawaf, his umrah, everything. He went home. And he fulfilled his promise, his threat. He stopped sinning. And then there was a drought in the Arabian Peninsula. The crops died. People were starving like Marvin. They were starving, dying. Quraysh contacted Rasulullah in Medina. Ya Muhammad, order Thumama to lift the embargo. That was one of the many things that happened from Rasulullah's wisdom, the decisions and choices that he made, one after another, they started manifesting, and Islam became stronger from strength to strength. Rasulullah said, Thumama, send them the food. When Thumama sent the food, some of Quraysh said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What kind of religion is this? He's our enemy. We did this. He doesn't like us. And he listens to Muhammad and he's giving us life by sending the food. What kind of religion? What kind of man? This was Rasulullah consistently showing Quraysh his akhlaq. How he dealt with people who were his enemies. There was a man who Rasulullah was traveling with his companions and he went to go to sleep. He took off his sword and tied it to a tree and he fell asleep. That man was an enemy of Islam. He came and took the sword off and unsheathed it and put it to Rasulullah's neck, who was on his back, incapacitated. He opened his eyes. The man said, "Ya Muhammad, who's going to save you from me?" Rasulullah said, "Allah, Allah, Allah." And the sword fell. Rasulullah grabbed it and turned it on him and said, "Who's going to save you from me?" The man said, "Ya Muhammad, take it easy. I don't want no trouble. Take it easy." Rasulullah said, "Do you bear witness la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah?" He said, "No, but I won't fight you anymore. I won't fight you." Rasulullah said, "Okay, you can go. Okay, you can go." That man went back and told his people what happened. Some of them accepted Islam. So everybody sitting here has someone who's done wrong to them. Everybody here, but we can't get over it. It's hard to get over. I'm still struggling. For you brothers who are here, and you know some of the kalam that went on here in the city, I have deep-rooted anger towards some Muslims who, what they do is deep-rooted, but I have to struggle to be like the Nabi. I have to struggle. He's the example, not me. You have an ex-wife, you have an ex-husband, you've been hurt. You've been hurt. That happened with another man. Sheikh Ismail. There was another man this happened to, that Rasulullah could have killed him. He let him go. He promised Rasulullah, he promised the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he would not fight him again. He let him go. But he fought Rasulullah again. And Rasulullah caught that man a second time, the same man, the second time. The man said, "Oh Muhammad, let me go." Rasulullah said something to us that's very important for the second man. He said, "La yumdil mu'min min hufra wahidatin marratayn." He said, "No, I'm not letting you go, because the believer is not stung from the same hole twice. Don't fall for the okie-doke twice. If you get stung once, he ripped you off, played a game, you made a decision, it turned out negative for you. Don't get stung from that same hole twice. If you do, something's wrong with you. First time they say something, first time shy, second time, how'd that go?" There's a saying that they say, if it happens the first time, once bitten, it this thing. You always know all of those things, man, mashallah. The believer doesn't get stung twice. I got married to a brother and I didn't do any investigation about him. And it ended in divorce and tragedy. He beat me up, this, that. And then I'm getting married to another brother, and all I could think of was, oh, I'm in love. No, you got to find out about your dude. Learn from what happened. Learn from what happened. So the Rasul was balanced. He let one person go, and the other one didn't let him go, because he did it twice. Rasulullah was not a sucker, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyway, Ikhwani, that's the hadith that I'm going to share with you guys today. And now, very quickly, I'm going to take from this hadith some benefits that are connected to all our lives. These hadiths and the stories of the Quran, they're not there just so that we can just sit and enjoy the story. That's part of it. The Rasul was a good teacher, and that he took this thing and he stood up. That's a teaching method. He was a good teacher because he would ask questions. He would say, there is a tree, and that tree is like the believer. Do you know what that tree is? And he left it to the people to think and use your brain. That's a way of teaching. That's how you have to teach your kids, teach your wife. It can't always be one way. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in teaching, he would tell people stories. Stories are interesting. Story and captivates you. You listen to the story, and it makes you listen. As opposed to a person getting up and just talking. What are you talking about? What is he talking about? His presence and his absence is one and the same. There were benefits in this story of Thumama. Meaning, first one that I want to mention, and it's critical. The story of Thumama goes to show al-aqwal wal-af'al. Al-af'al ablagu min al-aqwal. Remember this. Actions speak louder than words. Words are important, but actions speak louder than words. In order to become a Muslim, you have to make the shahada with your tongue. That shows words are important. They said, oh, Rasulullah, tell me something that I can ask you or no one else. He said, say, I believe, and then be upright, show it, be about it. So I love my mother, who's a non-Muslim. I love my mother. And I tell my mother I love you. And that's why I invite you brothers to do. Prophet Muhammad was sitting with a man, and another man walked by. That man said, Ya Rasulullah, you see that man? He said, yes. He said, Wallahi, I love that man. Rasulullah said, did you tell him you love him? He said, no. He said, if one of you loves someone, you should tell him you love him, because it causes your love to endure and to increase. But in our society here, that's like gay. To tell another man, Wallahi, I love you, man. And then that brother says back to you, may the one who you love me for cause you to love you as well. You should tell your wife, I love you. Tell your mother. You gotta tell your kids. You know there's some kids, some of us may be from those people when we're young, that your father never told you, I love you. Your father never took you and hugged you and said, I love you. He never got that from his dad. So now as an adult, he can't give that because of the culture or whatever. He never would express his emotions. Very uncomfortable when it comes to just being real with your emotions. It's not easy, especially if you don't know about it. And we, black people, us, it's not only us, every group of people got their issues, every group of people. But we got peculiar issues. And one of those issues that we have is coming to grips with emotions, man. We have to tell each other and tell our babies we love them. And I love my mother. If I love her, I should give her a dollar. If I love her, I should respect her. Because actions speak louder than words. If you love Islam, if you love Islam and you love Allah, if you do, then volunteer and do more work to spread Islam. Give more money. The Masjid has a lot to be done. In this Masjid right now, there's a lot to be done that could be done in this Masjid. There was a soccer player, football player from Africa. When I was in my Masjid, I was the Imam before COVID. His name is Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane was making something like some crazy amount of money to cook at football. That cat used to come to the Masjid after Salat al-Asr. Nobody was there. He would roll up his sleeves, go into the toilets and clean the toilets. And the guy was making something like 23 million pounds every year. And he would go and clean the toilets. And he didn't want people to know about it. May Allah accept him for that. That man made 23 million pounds a year. And he went and cleaned the toilet. And you telling me there's not things you can do in this masjid? It's got to always be left up to Sheikh Ismail, all because that's his job. Get out of here, man. We love Allah. And that's that ayah in the Quran. قُلْ إِن كُنتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. If you truly love Allah, then follow me. Allah forgive you. So listen, I say this to everybody here. I love my wife. I love my wife. I love her. Wallahi, I love her. Ushhid Allah and the malaika and you. I love my wife. But I have to think about her more. Because a lot of times I neglect her rights, traveling for dawah and this and that. I need to sit with her sometime and listen to her pain and what she's going through. I can't always dismiss her. You know, you emotional. You know, you women are. No. If I really love and I appreciate what she did, give me those baby support, I have to also give her her. So the point is, actions speak louder than words. How do we know that? We know that from the hadith, and that Rasulullah didn't say many things to Thumama. He said, what's your situation? 3 days in a row. That was his da'wah. But Thumama saw the Muslims. He saw the actions of the Muslims. They were example for the da'wah of Islam. He saw brotherhood. How did Thumama know to go make a ghusl come back wet? Where you get that from? When Thumama first was talking, he was saying, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad. Why when he came back, he said, Ya Rasulullah? Why? Because that's what he saw and heard from the companions. Because it was not permissible for them to say, Ya Muhammad. Allah said in the Quran to us, to the companions, La taj'alu du'a ar-rasuli bainakum ka du'a ba'dikum ba'da. You Muslims do not call the Prophet the way you call each other. Ya Sheikh Mustafa, Ya Akhi Abdullah, Ya Sulaiman, Ya Abdullah, Ya Abdul Halim, Abdul Amin. We could call each other that. You can't call him that. You have to call him Ya Rasulullah, Ya Nabi Allah, Ya Habibullah. You have to address him in words of respect. So he automatically did it. Oh, Ya Rasulullah, my brothers from your Calvary caught me. Just like that, they his brothers. Because actions speak louder than words. We, during this time, are people of Kalam. This is the time of a lot of Kalam. And Kalam is important, but actions speak. But before I go to the next point, I want to say to all of you, Muslims in this masjid, people who are from this country, let our actions reflect what we're saying. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Oh, you believe, why do you say that which you don't do? It is a bad thing in the sight of Allah to say what you don't do. Everybody here is responsible for doing. You love Allah, come to the masjid. You love Allah, take care of the masjid. Let's move on. From the benefits of this hadith that we should bring to the table is the fact that you shouldn't have ghulu in your religion. Ghulu with a ghayn, ghayr al-maghdub, ghulu. Now, ghulu, I'm going to say it, you're going to say it. Ghulu, picture it, Ghaloo. Ghayn, lam, wow. Ghulu, Thumama. Ghulu, Thumama, Ghulu, your mama. Listen, it's a series. Ghulu is when you go overboard. You go overboard in your love or your hatred. You love someone too much or you hate them too much. It's not permissible as a Muslim. This is what happened to Ahlul Kitab. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لَا تَغْلُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ وَلَا تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْحَقَّ. Tell them, Ya Muhammad, hey, Jews and Christians, don't say anything about Allah except the haqq, and don't go overboard in your religion. وقالت اليهود عزير بن الله وقالت النصارى المسيح بن الله ذلك قولهم بأفواههم. The Jews say Uzair is the son of Allah. The Christians say Isa is the son of Allah. That's ghulu. That's ghulu. Going overboard. We have the hadith أحبب حبيبك هون ما عسى أن يكون بغيضك يوم ما. Love the person you love moderately. The day may come where he becomes your enemy. And hate the person you hate moderately. The day may come where he becomes your habib. Thumala said, I hated your face, I hated your deed, I hated your city, I hated you. But today, you're my habib. When you love moderately, when that person you love falls short of the mark, they make a mistake, you're not devastated. You're not devastated. If you go overboard in somebody, everything they say, the sheikh said is the dalil. That's the dalil. Who said it? The sheikh said it. So just because he said it, we have to believe it. I'm not believing that. The sheikh does something wrong. I have a ghulu in him. I give him a pass. Clearly he did something wrong. No, I'm not giving him a pass. He has to be held accountable in an Islamic way. So maybe the person loves his wife or loves a lady who's not his wife in an extreme love. And as a result of that, you compromise your honor, compromise your deen. The lady loves a man extremely. So when it breaks down, he gets another wife. He got another wife. She loves him. For real, she loves him. He gets another wife. She takes poison and kills herself. No, for her to live another day is always in her best interest. What are you doing killing yourself for that? She loves him so much, he's breaking her ribs 1 week, next week knocking out her eye socket, next week stomping her in the marketplace, and she's still, why are you sitting with him? I love him. Nah. You have to love people moderately. Even your child, you have to love moderately. Prophet Muhammad said about children, Al-walid muhzanatun muhkilatun mujbana. The child will cause a person to be stingy. The child will cause a person to be a coward. The child will cause a person to be sad. Your child does something, breaks your heart. Not practicing the religion, got pregnant out of wedlock, just some madness in the community. Break your heart, man. When they get sick, you become sad. Any misfortune, that's your baby, man. And the child will make you a coward. We gotta go to make jihad, man. We gotta go make jihad and defend this religion, defend this masjid. But I ain't going nowhere because I may get killed. I gotta take care of my kid. They ain't killing me, so you don't go. The child will make you cheap, stingy. I'm not giving money. I gotta give money to my kid. And that's why those ayats. إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالَكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ فَاحْذَرُوهُ. Your money and your children are fitna to you. Your money and your children are fitna. So for Mama, he was over here extreme, and then he came back to the middle. And there are many examples of that, but I just will suffice it to say, we pray and we ask Allah every day, Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Make us in the middle in all of our affairs. Not too far to the right, not too far to the left. Last two that I want to mention, and there are many. The last two benefits from this hadith. This is really important. This hadith shows us the importance of hikmah in dawah and in dealing with people. Hikmah, being wise, making wise decisions, and not being a person with knee-jerk reaction. a person who's just, you're hot-headed, like Sonny from The Godfather. It's gonna happen bad results from that. Hot-headed. Men, the elders. That's why the Prophet said, Al-Baraka ma'akabirikum. The blessings are with the elders. Look at Ikrimah, the youngsters. The youngsters was ready to shoot for Mama. And there would be repercussions because young people are like that. You preceded him in Islam. You have 25 Ramadans that you fasted, 30 Ramadans, 40 Ramadans that you fasted. He's a revert last year, 2 months ago, 3 months, 2 years ago. And then he's going to come and he's on the Sunnah, mashallah. And he's going to talk to you like you're a 2-year-old. You may not can quote the Quran this like him, but there's no substitute for experience, man. No substitute. I came with the Oxford University. You've been in Oxford and you graduated and you're #1. But this guy, this doctor, this specialist, he's been on that job for 35, 40 years. He knows what you don't know, that experience. Al-Baraka ma'akabirikum. I would advise this community, Sheikh Mustafa, you guys should get, like we had in Africa, a circle of chiefs, 6, 7, like a shura, call it what you want. People who will sit down and make decisions. Someone wants to get a second wife, and he's young, he has to take that to the council of chiefs. And he sits with the council of chiefs, and they advise him, say, we don't think you should do that. And make our youngsters feel a sense of pressure that, yo man, you are part of this community. You gotta listen. You have to pay attention. You ain't out there cowboy doing your own thing, because he's gonna destroy himself. We shouldn't be existing like this. Everybody here is an amir doing your own thing. Islam is not like that. Hikmah. Why did Rasulullah tie Thumama to the thing in the masjid? Because he knows Thumama is a leader and a typical. He's a thinker. Not like most of the people are sheep, they follow. Thumama is a thinker, he's a leader. Rasulullah knew his personality. Tie him up in the masjid, let him look at the masjid, look at the hikmah. And look how it came and benefited Islam later on. The embargo, people accepted Islam, and then Thumama became one of the champions of Islam. So, if you get an opportunity to interact with the politicians, for an example, rich people, we don't interact with them on the back foot, scared, looking for crumbs. Nor do we interact with them being rough, arrogant, and crazy. We interact with them with wisdom. We deal with them because it's going to benefit the community down the line when the right people are doing it. When the apologetic chunks who have no backbone doing it, it's going to be a trouble. We don't want the people always dancing and doing the bojangles. We don't want you doing that. We want you to interact and to, represent us in our cause. The leadership of the community has to be like that. Hikmah. Allah said in the Quran, يُؤْتِ الْحِكْمَةَ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Allah gives hikmah to whoever He wants to give it to. And whoever has been given hikmah has been given a lot of good. Has been given a lot of good. Hikmah. Before we move on to the last one, inshallah, I just want to give you the definition of hikmah. They translate hikmah as being what? What's hikmah? Wisdom. It's that. But hikmah really means وَضْعُ شَيْءٍ فِي مَحَلِّهِ الْمُنَاسِبِ. Putting things in the proper place is hikmah. That's hikmah. It's what you said, wisdom. The real meaning, putting things in their proper place. Being tough and strong when that's needed. Being kind, soft, easy when that's needed. Speaking when that's needed. Being quiet when that's needed. That's hikmah. Allah is Al-Hakim. Al-Hakim. We're going to say Allah has wisdom. Al-Hakim means Allah knew and knows where and what to do. When Allah allowed the man to have 4 wives, that's hikmah. When Allah gave this rule, halal, haram, that's hikmah. So, my wife is barren. She doesn't have any children. She doesn't have any children. She won't get pregnant. I can't say, woe is me, woe is me. Why are you doing that to me, Allah? What? Because Allah knows what He's doing when He didn't give you children. When you didn't get the job, Allah knows what He's doing. Never be a person who has a problem with the qadr, when things happen to you. Allah knows what He's doing. He puts everything in the right place. Hikmah. The highest level of hikmah, there are different levels of hikmah. Highest level of hikmah is putting your worship to Allah. Worshiping Allah. If you worship Jesus, Hosea, money, this is not hikmah. If you take someone's money and you misappropriate, you're not putting things in the right place. Hikmah is treating the Muslim as a Muslim, treating your mother and your father as a mother and a father. The opposite of hikmah is dhulm. Dhulm is oppression. Dhulm is putting things in the wrong place, taking someone's money. That's dhulm. Worshipping other than Allah and you put it somewhere else. And that's why Allah in the Surah Luqman, Allah Ta'ala said, in the shirk, the dhulmun azim. Shirk is a great oppression. Last thing we want to mention, ikhwani, is this, and we're done. Listen, when Thumama went to Mecca and Thumama said to Quraysh, I am not going to see you any more grain from Bani Hanif until Rasulullah allows me. That hadith, that incident is showing us, everybody here, everybody, that brother over in the cut, in the corner, in the cut, just doing his own thing. That part of the hadith shows whatever skills you have, whatever ability you have, whatever you're bringing to the table. He's a solicitor, he's a doctor, he's a construction worker, he's a carpenter, this cavalry, whatever you have, whatever, he got some money, whatever you have to bring it to the table and help Islam. As soon as Thumama became a Muslim, he used his influence to help this religion. Nobody told him and taught him that. That's what he saw. As soon as he became a Muslim, he used his personality, his reputation, his influence to help this deen. You are not getting anything else until the Nabi says it's okay. Because I'm a Muslim now. And there were individuals like that. Like Umar. When Umar became a Muslim, it helped Islam because people respect strength. People respect men who have personality and they have strength. They may not like your religion, but they're going to respect you. As for you want to do the bojangles and you're going to start apologizing all the time, they don't respect that. Coming right through the door, I'm a Muslim. This is my kufi. I have to pray. I have to go to Jummah. And if they say no, we try to work it out. But always scared to stand up for yourself with hikmah. Talking correctly to people. Dealing with people correctly. You'd be crazy. So what do? I heard a story that a Muslim in this community, Muslim in this community had an issue, he became sick. It was going to be difficult to get treatment. It's going to be difficult for him to get treatment. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have insurance. And he needs to be seen. The doctor, the medic, hey, bypass all that. Send him to me. Send him to me. I'm not going to lose my job for him, but I know I can take care of him. That's what Imam did. So what we do, and I've observed this since I've been here, I'm not putting anybody down. There's a hadith that says, Al-Mu'min mir'atu mu'min. The believer is a mirror to his brother. They give each other nasiha. So you tell me, Abu, this, that, I tell you about yourself. You tell me, I'm not putting you down. This is an observation that I made since I've been here. Every single masjid I've come to, and every group of people and people, the individuals that I've met since I've been here, I've met all nice people, man. There wasn't a single person here that I met that I'm like, oh, I ain't really, I don't want to see him. Not a single, every masjid I feel I belong. I'm a part of this community, man. But I see not enough work is being done and spread out amongst the community. 1, 2, 3 people. That's not cool. Can't expect that. What kind of religion is that? What kind of religion is that? Prophet Muhammad came out to the people and said, who will help me to spread the religion of my Lord? He could have been by himself. He has a dua that Allah will accept. He could have been by himself. He came out and said, who will help me spread this religion? And I also heard historically in this country, Islam, there were activities in the past. People were growing up from this area, youngsters going all the way over to Spanish Town, doing stuff over there with the other Muslims. People were doing things. Now in 2023, where's all that activity at? What happened? I'm not putting you down. But why was it back then like that, and now it's a slumber type thing? So all I'm saying is, as your younger brother, as your older brother, as your brother similar in age, as your brother, the community has to do a better job with everybody, making it his responsibility to get in where you fit in. Everybody. We don't have in our religion, people on the perimeter, on the sidelines, not doing anything. We don't have that. You have to bring your piece of puzzle to the table. And I conclude with that. That's my advice to all of you in this community. Abdul Jalil has something to offer. Abdul Jalil has something to offer. Fareed Yusuf has something to offer. To bring the brothers who have come here, we don't know many of you don't even know their names. Many of you don't even know their name. That's Bashir Ahmed. And you don't know his name. He has something to offer. Don't come in the masjid and you doing nothing. All of you. The masjid is not for that. You can come and pray and you get benefit in praying and praying. But the best of you is the one who brings benefit to others. Suleiman has something to offer everybody here. My man right there, Abu Darda. Abu Darda has special needs from the Hikmah of Allah. Abu Darda has something to offer. Them sisters have something to offer. The New River boxing dude got something to offer. And that's where the importance of leadership and the elders come into play. And the importance of those of you who are educated, man. You have skills in IT. You have skills in management. You have skills in government. You got to bring that stuff to the table. Allah told the Prophet, "Qul inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya lillahi rabbil alamin." Tell them, Muhammad, my life, my death, my salat, my sacrifice, all of my life and my death. To Allah, the Lord of all the world. It's called Rabbul Aslam, called Aslam to Rabbil Alameen. And remember when Ibrahim's Lord said, accept Islam. Ibrahim said, I submit to the Lord of all the world. What is submit? What is Islam? And I'm done. What is Islam? Islam is الاستسلام لله بالتوحيد والانقياد له بالطاعة والبراءة من الشرك والمشركين. Islam is submitting to Allah with tawheed. Submitting to Allah. He is the only one I worship. No shirk. I don't show off. I don't slaughter for other men. I'm not scared of anybody but him. I swear by only him. I make dua to only him. I don't make dua to Allah and Rasulullah. I don't make dua to Allah and Ali. I don't do that. I submit to Allah with tawheed. And I do those things Allah told me to do. Salah, zakat, salam, hijab, bir, truthfulness, cleanliness, come to the masjid. And the third component of Islam is freeing yourself from shirk and from the mushrikeen. You gotta free yourself from the mushrikeen. You can't do Halloween, you can't do birthdays, you can't do none of that stuff that they do. You can't do any of that stuff. Bring out a cake and then tell the Muslim kid, make a wish and blow out the fire. Where does that come from? Don't get me wrong, I know a lot of us do the birthday thing. I'm not saying you bad, what do you do? I'm not saying that. But where's your intellect? You know this stuff that these Europeans, this kuffar, what they give us, is always shirk. The days of the week, shirk. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Every month, shirk. January, February, March, April, May. Every single celebration, without any exception, is shirk. Christmas, everything. You sit there and doing the QA, you tell me a celebration of these people that's not shirk. You know, these big celebrations. Why would we do that when we have in Islam what is purer than that and better than that? Al-Islam, submitting to Allah with tawheed and doing what he told you to do. And what did he tell you to do? Bring your piece of the puzzle to the table. Free yourself from shirk and the mushrikeen. Don't do what they do. Make your life and existence distinct from theirs. This is what we wanted to mention, inshallah, real quickly. If you guys have any questions, you brothers or sisters, you ask the question, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. I have my wallet here. I'm gonna put 20 pounds on the table. I know it ain't a lot of money, but it's all I got. It's all I can afford. It's your problem. I'm gonna put 20 pounds on the table for the one who answers these little simple questions. You can get 20 pounds. How many, I keep getting ready to call Nigeria. I keep calling Jamaica Nigeria. I don't know why. No, I don't. I almost called Jamaica Nigeria 50 times today. Look, how much is 20 pounds in Jamaican money? How much? How much? 4,000? I know that ain't a lot, man. All right, I'm gonna up the ante. Not because I'm rich, but I'm the one who's gonna ask the questions. Everything I say, you're responsible for it. 40 pounds. Wallahi, you can have the 40 pounds. Wallahi, I'm not joking. Any questions? All you have to do is answer 3 questions and you get the money. But I'm gonna answer your questions.
What's the answer to the question?
What's the answer to the questions? Allahu A'lam. Shukran ya akhi. Barakallahu feek. Any questions before I get to the questions? Sheikh Ismail. Ibrahim, where's that water that was, yeah.
This translation of the ayah in Surah Al-Fatiha, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, has been taken effective advantage of. In Africa. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. And it has always been in my mind to see if I can translate it as guide us along the straight way instead of guide us to the straight path.
The Sheikh is making a point. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, guide us to the straight way. What's the best translation? Should it be translated, guide us to the straight way or guide us upon the straight way?
Okay.
Which one is better? This is really important, really. And it's connected to the lesson because it's about being in the middle. The straight way is the middle. So what's the best translation for us? Guide us to the straight way or upon. It's very important. Listen, the Prophet said, listen very carefully. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, 3 times, halaka al-mutanatti'un, halaka al-mutanatti'un, halaka al-mutanatti'un. He said, those people who dig too deep will be destroyed. Those people who dig too deep will be destroyed. Those people who dig too deep will be destroyed. The meaning of it is what happened to Bani Israel. And Allah ya'murukum an tadhbahu baqara. Allah commands you, Bani Israel, Musa said, to slaughter a cow. They said, do you think we're stupid? You making jokes with us? Musa said, A'udhu billahi min al-jahili. I seek refuge in Allah. I'm a messenger of Allah. I got you through the Red Sea. When they finally decided to slaughter, they said, what color cow? What do we do? How do we do it? How this, how that? Allah told you to slaughter the cow. Just go slaughter the cow. But they started asking they started digging too deep. Prophet Muhammad came out to his companions one time and said, and Allah al-Hajj. Allah has made Hajj wajib now, towards the end of his life. You have to make Hajj. A man said, Ya Rasulullah, do we have to make it every year? He said, Zaruni ma taraktukum. Leave me if I leave you. The people who went before you were destroyed because of this type of questioning. It's not necessary. Whether the translation is guide us to the Sirat al-Mustaqim, guide us upon the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the point is, you know what the Sirat al-Mustaqim. To from those kind of what they call it again, semantics, that is not really important as long as you understand what the point. As long as you understand what the point is. I'll give you an example. A salat of al-Jum'ah is wajib. The salat for Jum'ah is fard. It's wajib, it's an obligation. It's fard, it's compulsory. And the 2 brothers is going to say, it's wajib. No, it's fard. It's wajib. No, it's fard. It's wajib. No. And they just go back and forth. And wajib and fard are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Don't argue over that. And that's why the scholars of al-Islam, to protect the intellect of the Muslims, they said, La mushaha fil mustalahat. There should be no argumentation in these kind of issues. You shouldn't be arguing. Guide us to the sirat that is straight, guide us upon it. For the most part, it means the same thing. And even if there is a small difference in the English, it doesn't have anything to do with the price of peanuts. We're gonna come back to you, Sheikh. We just want to get through because I gotta ask questions. Anybody else have? I'm gonna come back to you. Anybody else have a question? Anybody else have a question? Okay. Anybody else have a question? Huh? A taliq? It's from English.
You mentioned in your talk, you mentioned the opposite of hikmah. I think a more appropriate opposite would be jihad or jihad. And the opposite of zulm would be adl.
What's the opposite of zulm?
Jihad. And the opposite of hikmah is jihad. The same way jihad was first referred to as al-hikmah, and then the Messenger called it the opposite of that, which was
The ulama of Islam, because of the ayat in Surah Luqman, where Allah Azza wa Jalla said that the greatest, verily, shirk is a great oppression. And what is shirk? Shirk is to misappropriate your worship with Allah, to worship someone else or something other than Allah. That's oppression. Why? That's zulm. It's wrong. Why? Because you put it in the wrong way, you put it in the wrong place. You put your worship in the wrong place. It's in the wrong place. Allah called it zulm. And when you put, as I mentioned, as the scholar said, al-hikmah is the opposite of it is what? Jahl. Then Allah is al-Hakim. Allah is al-Hakim because He puts everything right place. The opposite of Jahl is al-Alim. Allah is al-Alim. Allah is al-Alim. So the opposite of Jahl is al-Alim. Hikmah is a kind of knowledge. Hikmah is a kind of. Abu Jahl, who was Abu Hakam, this is the Prophet's way of not necessarily saying this is the total, complete opposite of what his name is. So saying you're not wise, you're Abu Jahl, you're not Abu Wisdom. So wisdom is a part of knowledge. But we're going to look at that ayat, that zulm. You put it in one place. So we can always go further, gather this up, what the scholars said about it, and it's an easy one. Because that point of view and saying what you said, I can see it. I can see why it's being said. There's room for that. But the emphasis is now in this setting, the emphasis is don't put things in the wrong place. That's all. Okay, we're going to ask the questions now. 3 questions. Who wants to be the first one? Who wants to get to 40 pounds? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Just put your hands up randomly if you want to get to 40 pounds. Good job, Abdullah. I like that. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. And you try and get married Sunday. Abdullah, this is yours. Wallahi, 3 questions. First question. What was the first hadith I used in this class? Huh? You're right, and you're looking, man. You still didn't get it right. What was the first hadith?
40 pounds.
Huh?
He's not going to get the 40 pounds.
Oh. That just gives you an idea what kind of question. You think I'm just going to give you 40 pounds, man? You know how hard I work. Do you see me sweating here right now, bro? Who wants to put his hand up? My brother. What's your name? Rafiq. What do you say? Huh?
He wasn't here.
Well, in Islam, you know that cliche, the early bird gets the worm. Hey, Rafiq, you way down there, man. If someone comes to the masjid late for salat, he is not like the one on the day of Jummah who comes early and gets on the right side of the imam in the first row. Allah and the malaika send salawat on the people who pray on the right side of the first row. They don't do that for the people on the left side, the people in the second row. The people, when you come to Jummah, the malaika are writing down your names. And as soon as the imam says, Salaam alaikum, they close that thing and they listen to the khutbah. Cats come into the thing after that. You get the khutbah, but you're not like the person who came early, he slaughtered a cow. Next one came, he slaughtered a camel, then a cow, and then a sheep, and then a chicken, and then an egg. So you can't, the sahib of the egg is not like the sahib of the camel, man. So you snooze, you lose, man. You snooze, you go to sleep, you come late, you lose. All right? So this is an important part of our religion. As-sabiqun al-awwalun min al-muhajirin wal-ansar, the vanguard of Islam, the first Muslims, the companions. Allah is pleased with them, and Allah is pleased with those who follow them. The companions and the like, the people who came later on. And even amongst the companions, those people who fought and spent before the conquest of Mecca, they're not like the companions who came into Islam later. So Allah didn't create everyone equal in our religion. You're not equal. They be of the sabiqeen al-awwalin, trying to be of the first people to do it. Who wants to do, man? Who wants to do? Who wants to do? My man Abdul Alim. All right, Abdul Alim. What's the complete name of the man who we were talking about today? What is that companion's name? Thumama ibn Uthal. Today, when we were at that place, I asked Abdul Alim, do you know Thumama ibn Uthal? He said, nah, I never heard of it. I said, okay. He said, you want to tell me something about him? I said to him, nah, I'm going to tell you later. And he was listening. He remembered. Good job, Abdullah. Second question, Abdullah. What is the meaning, and this is a benefit from the taliq, because people hear it multiple times. What is the meaning of hikmah, and what is the opposite of hikmah? Wisdom. That's the translation. What definition did I say hikmah? What definition did I say? Yeah. What's the definition? The clock is at the buzzer gonna go off, man. The buzzer. And that's it. If the sisters want to ask a question, I don't know. I don't know. What can we do? All right, last person who wants to get the dough. You want to get the dough? Abdul Jalil. What is the opposite of hikmah? What is the meaning and definition of, what is the meaning and understanding definition of hikmah, and what is the opposite of hikmah? In Arabic, the opposite of hikmah is vum. Good job. All right, 2 more questions. All right, 40 pounds. 40 pounds. What is the name of the young man who was in charge of the shabab of the kuffar of Quraysh, who was going to shoot Thumama when he was about to make tawaf? What was his name? Good job. Ikrimah ibn Abi Sufyan, and he became a Muslim like his father. Wow, man. I don't put this money closer to you, man. Huh?
You're asking regarding this prayer part.
All right, last question for Abdul Jalil. Abdul Jalil, what was the fourth hadith we mentioned in this class? What? You don't be a hater. Don't be haters. Didn't I not say you're responsible for everything I said? I'm not asking something outside the doors. You think I just want to come and give you my money? And I said, oh boy, I will give you this money because we have to be serious students. Some of you have the ability to answer these questions if you just really sat and you trained yourself to be a student. You can do it. Some of you are intelligent people. But if you think you're going to come to any lecture and just sit there and you like the information, you inspire, you get benefit, but it's going to go in your ear and come out. That's the nature of binyat. That's why as a teacher, Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a proof of the fiqh of the khatib, a proof that he knows what he's doing is when he has knowledge, is when his khutbah is short and the salat is long. Because the people can't retain information. So if he gets up there, when I became a Muslim with brothers from the American Muslim Mission, I was a brand spanking new Muslim. I just got out of the pen. I came to the Masjid. The Imam would give the khutbah on Friday. While he was talking, people in the audience were saying, preach, brother, Imam, teach, bring it home. And I was sitting there and saying, wow, it's good. And the man would give the khutbah for an hour and 45 minutes and 2 hours. And the reason for that was they were transitioning. As time went on, those khutbahs got shorter and people started to learn what's correct. So what I was saying, preach, brother Imam, that was from the nation, and that's what they were doing as they were developing. So in this masjid, and I met brothers who were from the nation, one thing that I saw different from many of them, from all of them, is unlike in America, to this day, 2023, there are people who are real Muslims, but you can't say anything true as in criticism of the nation. The hadith of Thumama teaches you, when you become a Muslim, as soon as you become a Muslim, you have to submit to his religion, to Allah. You love what he loves, you hate what he hates. That's the religion. And I'm going to tell you that in a nice way, but I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to come as a younger person and disrespect you and say, you don't love Allah, you love Elijah more. I'm not going to, because that's disrespectful for me to talk to you like that. But I have to give you a wake-up call. I'm not going to placate it. So a 2-hour khutbah, you expect the people, African Americans, most of us uneducated, you think we're going to hear this? No. So I'm saying here, a lot of information long, you can't, that's why the Prophet, I end with this, he was going to make Hajj. He was going to make Hajj. He was going to make Hajj. And there was a man who came. His kunya was Abu Shah. Abu Shah said, Ya Rasulullah, I can't remember all of this you doing Hajj. He told the people, Uktubu Abu Shah, write for him. Write so that they'll know. Write. So some of the companions used to write the ayat of the Quran, they used to write the hadith. One Bedouin came, he said, Ya Rasulullah, all of these dua that you make, all of these long dua, I can't remember all of that. I can't remember all of this stuff. Sayyid al-Istighfar, Azkar al-Madina, there's a lot of dua, coming in the house, going out of the house, coming in the, I can't remember all of that. He said, then what do you do when you make dua? He said, I say, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. That's all I say. Rasulullah said, Hawlahu udallin. He said, what you say, all of the dua that I say is rotating around that. You okay? What you doing is, some people can't remember all of that. So therefore, write it down. As for our elders, you do the best that you can. As someone who's challenged mentally, academically, intellectually, do the best that you can. But for you young brothers, medics, educated, you brothers, knowledge is not like just sitting there. Sometimes the khutbah is like that. But knowledge, Sheikh Shaheed is teaching a book about etiquettes. If you come and just sit, you'll get the barakah. The malaika are here. You're still praying. The malaika saying, Allah forgive them, making istighfar. It's benefit, because we're here. But when you sit down and you write, by writing, it registers again. Him mentioned that thing about hikmah, this, that, you hear it again. So my encouragement is, 40 pounds will come and go. But knowledge that you have, man, will stay with you, brother. It will stay with you. We ask Allah Ta'ala for ikhlas and al-thabat in our deen. And we ask him subhanahu wa ta'ala to not allow us to check out from this dunya except that we are on the palm of the sirat al-mustaqim. And we ask him to forgive all of us and to give us light in the dunya and the akhir, inshallah, and give strength and izzah to al-Islam and the Muslims. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran Sulaiman.
I just wanted to say,
Fareed, you eat this?
To the Sheikh.
You eat this?
For a wonderful and insightful talk, inshallah. And to remind the brothers, inshallah, he'll be here tomorrow. He'll be doing the khutbah. So you guys should all try and be in the front row to the right. That's usually my spot, so he blew up my old spot. I don't even know if I'm going to get the spot tomorrow, inshallah. I'll try to get my camel and get the spot, inshallah. Yeah? Oh yeah, no, I'm going to get it. And in the evening, similarly after Maghrib, there'll be another talk here as well. So we should all try and make effort to be here and not just come alone, invite the other brothers and sisters to come out. And after Asr, there'll be a youth session. He'll be addressing youth. We should bring all the young brothers and sisters here to come out, inshallah. And for right now, there's light refreshments. There's light refreshments for the brothers and for the sisters. You can have that, inshallah, towards the back of the masjid.
They were good. They gave some easy one for the hadith. I want some juice for you. No, man, that's what they need.
Did I do him dirty?
No.
I know you would tell me.
No, you didn't do that. You didn't.
Sorry. I thought you were finished. I'm sorry. What was the rest of the question?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
What is this?
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Christian pastors. Christian pastors. But anything you said. They complain. They're saying, guide us to. We say, it's a translation. So we say, guide us along.
Guide us to,
Guide us along.
guide us upon, guide us along. As long as the person understands the meaning is, put me on, put me to, put me upon. It's all the same thing. This is the same. But sometimes there are some issues. That there are subtle differences that are important. Like Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman Rahma. Ar-Rahim, Rahma. Both of them come from Rahma. They have different meanings. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman. That Allah has Rahma on all of the creation. Jinn, Muslim, Kufar, good Muslim, bad Muslim, animals. Ar-Rahim, he only has Rahma on the believers, human. So there's a subtle Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. They both come from Rahman. They have two different meanings. Allah is Ar-Rahman in the dunya and everyone. The Yom Qiyamah will be Rahim, will have Rahmah only on the believers. So Rahim is his name that is connected to the believers. He's not Rahim to the kuffar. Yom Qiyamah, every kafir will be punished who did not believe in Allah. No matter who their mother was, no matter who their father was. Ibrahim's father, no matter who you are. If you disbelieve in Allah, you're going to be punished. So there are some subtle differences, some issues.
So what we are talking about,
So in this thing,
what we are talking to these Christians, can we tell them it is the same thing as guide us along the straight path?
I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to tell them that with confidence. And another thing, when Christians try to use the Quran to confuse us, they're confused about their own religion, about their own God, their ilah. How are they going to tell us about anything? They're confused about their own thing. And then they're going to come to us and try to confuse us. What they do is they play games. They really don't have knowledge. They're playing games. Now, it is possible that a non-Muslim can take issues of a religion and really create doubt in the mind of a Muslim. Prophet Muhammad married 11 women. Why? Prophet Muhammad married Aisha, she was very young. So a lot of Muslims don't know it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a lot of things. Prophet Muhammad was getting ready to pray in the Quran. He was getting ready to pray. And then he said, I'll be right back. And he went. He came back to pray, and his clothes had water, like Sunnah. He came, he said, I saw a woman who, when I looked at her like accidentally, he said, if any of you sees a woman who gives them anything, then but I think that goes back to people just not. You said back home. I didn't know that. From the north to the south. From Kano to
So, I hear your wife is in Kaduna. I stayed in Kaduna for some time.
I help people of northern Nigeria.
I spent 60 days in Jamaica. Completed now. Tomorrow, like. But in this go to Masjid.
That's drama. That thing.
And one. Yeah.